how's it going? I'm Allison, and today I'm sharing an update on my decision to go no contact with my narcissistic mom. If you haven't heard, you can watch a couple videos that I've made about going no contact, about how I trusted my intuition to make this decision and how I have compassion for her, but I cannot make excuses for her treating me the way she does any longer, and to protect myself, I am deciding to not have a relationship with her. So if you need to see those first, I recommend going and watching those now. But if not, I'm going to tell you kind of the pretty full story of the drama that enticed my decision to go no contact, and so the details involving that and more progressions that I've been realizing along the way, particularly with smear campaigns. If you're not familiar, that is when they spread the word that you are a bad person and that you are the cruel and mean one and they're the victim. And she's doing a lot of that right now, and she has my entire life, and I'm learning to just not let it affect me. I care, but what matters is how I feel about myself. And if I'm doing things that feel rewarding and make me happy, that's what really matters. And other people, you know, it's not really up to me what they think of me. And hopefully, if I show my truest and best self, they will know that, like, what they're hearing isn't the full truth. And that they know who I am deep down, and that that's hopefully a good person. And if they don't believe it, then that says something about themselves, maybe that they don't question what they're being told, and they're like listening and feeding into the gossip. And I don't need those kind of people in my life who do that kind of thing anyways. So yes, smear campaigns, but I am going to tell you more in detail what is making me think about all this. So okay, I mentioned in the first video about going no contact with my mom that something really dramatic happened that caused me to disengage from drama, from chaos, and I didn't really give any details, and I'm going to do that now. So, my family on my mom's side has a cottage. My grandpa actually built it with his dad, and so it's just been in the family for now 5 generations. It's a really special place, and it means a lot to me. I've had really good family memories there. Like, it's something that I've had since childhood that has had a positive impact on my life. And, with such a weird family life, something like that means so much to you. And I used to be so attached to this place, and like now I just feel like healthily, I love it. It makes me happy. For Memorial Day weekend, which I believe was a month ago now. Yeah, it was a month ago. I decided that I was going to go up there with a few friends, a few of my absolute best friends actually, and perhaps my boyfriend's family was going to come up for just Memorial Day. And I asked my mom about a week and a half in advance if that was okay, and she said yes. And that was that. And then, my 2 sisters, I have an older sister and a twin sister, they were planning on going up north for Memorial Day weekend, but the weather was looking a little rocky, and so they decided that they weren't going to do that. And yes, I told my sister I was going to go to the cottage, my twin sister, and she said, okay. So that was, let's call it day 1. Day 2 came around, and she said, when are you going to the cottage? And I said, I'm not sure. Do you want to go? And she said, yes, I think so. And so I said, okay, well, you can be up there when I'm up there, or you can tell me when you want to go up there, and I'll just go around then. I'll go the other days because it doesn't really matter to me. I don't really care. We can share. And she said, okay. That was day 2. Day 3. That's when all hell broke loose. I said, I still didn't know what my plans are. What are your plans? And she said, you're going up all weekend. This was the first time that the cottage was open all year, and she said, "You're gonna hog the place all summer. You're taking all of your wild and crazy friends up there. You're gonna be doing all this horrible, disastrous stuff. You're gonna have a party." She started freaking out. She's saying that I'm hogging the place and I'm going to be doing things that make it so that she doesn't want to be up there when I'm up there. And so we can't share. Like, it's insulting of me to invite her up there while I'm up there with my friends because she's a little crazy also as well as my mom. I just was like, okay, whatever. And I don't know if it was that day or the next day, but things just escalated really quickly all of a sudden. And this is when I was working with my twin sister, which I just got a new job, and I spoke about that very briefly in the second no contact video. But gosh, it's a long story. I don't know if I need to explain all of these details, but so I got a new job because I was working with my twin sister, and at the job, she started bringing all this up and all of these fake things that she had made up about the situation that were like totally untrue, particularly involving me and my friends partying, which is just not true. We don't go up there and party. We go up there and, like I'm going to talk about later, we take care of the cottage and we just sit in the sun and play badminton. You know, it's like totally harmless stuff. Anyways, she started freaking out saying that I was going to party up there all weekend with my friends, and we were at work, and I was like, stop. Stop. You cannot do this at work. Leave it alone. Let's talk later. And she didn't stop, and so I walked away. I breathed for a solid like 5 minutes, literally, and then I went back, and immediately she just brought it back up and started attacking again. And I just like, that was it. And I was saying, like, we can share, I'm not going to be partying, like, blah, 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 but by that point, by this day, I had lost my voice. I had become the lost child, and I had become the victim of a narcissistic attack, and nothing I said was being heard. It was being reflected back at me, and, like, just totally dismissed and said that it was lies and really crazy things. And so I just decided I'm not going to partake in this. I know what I'm doing. I'm not doing anything wrong. I know that she can come. Like, I was still willing to, like, breathe and compromise. But then, after work, I got these novel text messages, like, scroll, swearing like a sailor, crazy messages. More of the same of what I was saying earlier, a little bit more vicious, really old school, like bringing back the partying days, bringing back like really negative things from the past in these text messages, novels of them, and I just wasn't texting back at all. And then um, something really interesting, she and my mom don't get along at all, very well at all, and she got my mom involved. So I got a text message from my mom, and my mom said, like, you need to call me now. You need to tell me exactly when you're going and who's going, and it's really mean that you're doing this to your sister. And side note, that's one thing that my mom does a lot is, you need to call me. Meanwhile, she hasn't called me once. She, like, sends me this in a text, and you need to text me back, and, like, not involving, like, this fight, but she'll say, like, you need to come over. You haven't come over in a long time, and it's like, have you ever even seen my house? Like, you don't even know where I live. But oh, that's a side note. Just maybe you can relate to that. So my mom starts attacking me, and I didn't say anything to her, and I'm sure that they both, because my mom is a narcissist, like, I don't like labels, but if the shoe fits, and my sister is super narcissistic. I don't know if it's because she's just living with my mom, but I'm not going to label her narcissist. I'm just going to say she's got some really narcissistic tendencies, and during this fight with them just like screaming at me and me just like disengaging, I am sure they are just getting infuriated, and like they just kept trying, but like I just put up a wall, couldn't be bothered. I knew that this was ridiculous, and I was realizing, like I said in my last couple videos, like, nothing I say is going to do anything. And then my older sister got involved as well, and at that point I was just like, kind of let down, like, is this for real? I'm just getting a full-on frontal assault right now, like, what did I do to deserve this? Honestly, I am just trying to go to the cottage, like, you know, in any other family this would be normal and we could all go together and it could be a good old time, but now this is like just so pointlessly ridiculous. So that all happened, and fast forward to Memorial Day weekend, I went up there, and I we have a couple patches of garden and this stump that's surrounded by beautiful succulents, really old. They've been there since I was little, and some tulips, and all the succulents every winter, like grass just shoots up in between them, and they're like succulents with like grass, and you can't just like yank the grass out, like you have to gently pull it out. But right, so I've been gardening at home, which is really rewarding, and I thought, like, okay, I'm getting older, I really need to start participating in taking care of the cottage, and I want to. I feel like it's time. I feel like this is something that I can do and will enjoy doing and feel good about after. So I'm going to garden. I'm going to take all this grass out from the succulents and all the grass out and weeds from the tulips and like just brighten up the garden a little bit. And so I did that. It took hours for 3 days, and a few of my friends that went up there were kind enough to see that I was doing that and join in. And it was just really nice. And afterwards, like, there were beautiful tulip bushes that were nice and bright green with nice, like, luscious brown soil all around them. Not like grass and like looking crazy and overgrown, but like really polished and, sorry, really polished and beautiful. It was looking really good, and I sat back and I looked and I was like, wow, this looks great. I'm so happy that I did that. And a neighbor came over and was like, oh, I'm so happy you did that. They look so lovely. Like, I was going to come over and do it because I like when it looks like this, but I'm getting older and I'm just really appreciative of you doing that. And I was like, oh, thank you so much. Like, it feels really good. Okay, so remember that whole gardening pit because it's going to come back again very, very shortly. But in between then and now, I have gone no contact with my mom, and then a little bit after that, I got a call from my mom's sister, my aunt, and she said that my mom contacted her. She said that I haven't been responding to her messages, which I haven't because I haven't been receiving them. I blocked my mom's number, and my aunt said that she told her, my mom told my aunt, Gah! My mom told my aunt that I need to pay for the electric bill while I was up there, which came out to approximately $20. And I was like, okay, like, fine. I've never paid for my time up there before, but I can do that, whatever. And I didn't make it a big deal. I was just like, whew, like, I haven't thought about this, but my mom must still be thinking about this. She's bringing my aunt into this on purpose. I know that she is. And it's not really about the money, I'm pretty sure. Because my mom is cheap. She really likes when people give her money. She likes taking people's money. And she doesn't like to work for her money. She just likes to get it. But, like, in instances like this. But this is just 20 bucks. And that's, like, how I thought about it. Like, fine, it's just 20 bucks. But to her, she didn't think, like, it's just 20 bucks. She thinks it's, like, ammo. It's, like, a way to get to me. Like, just, ugh. It's just, you know what I mean? I don't know. My words aren't, like, coming to me very swiftly. But I was just like, oh, my God. Like, what kind of tactic is this? $20? Really? Like, and I can't imagine what she's saying to my aunts. I can't actually, that I had like 20 people up there and that we were all partying the whole time and that I'm just a terrible, ungrateful daughter. So then I talked to my older sister about a week ago, was this? So yeah, so then I talked to my older sister, and she said that she had been talking to mom, and I said, "Oh, how's mom?" And she said, "Oh, she really hates you. She's really mad at you. She can't get over how mad she is at you. Like, that's all she's talking about." And I was like, interesting. Like, that's fascinating. I'm over here, like, kind of thinking about her, thinking if this is the right thing, and she is over there driving herself mad, like, with anger at me that is totally uncalled for a situation that she approved, but then, like, because another sibling wanted to cause drama, and she absolutely loves drama, she, like, took it and took back her approval and, like, instead, like, made everything just a freaking mess. And she's just, like, using it as her fuel right now, and it's been a month. Like, get over it. Oh, God. Right, so now coming. Okay, I'm sorry, I don't usually talk like this in real life, but for some reason, when I'm, like, talking to you, I'm like, let me use my hands as much as my mouth. A couple of days ago, I woke up and I was still half in dreamland, half in reality, and the whole weeding that I did came to my mind, and instantly I was out of dreamland. I was awake, and I was like, damn. Like, I did a lot of work, hours worth of work on this beautiful garden, and I just did it out of the goodness within me because I wanted to. I wanted to help and, like, contribute to this family property that I appreciate so much. And what did I get for that? Like, no recognition at all. Like, not that I sought it out, like, but I was kind of hoping that someone would notice that I did all the gardening and say, that looks nice. And the neighbor did, and that was really nice. And I noticed, and that was really nice. And I returned to that place. But for a while, I was like, not only did I not get recognized for doing this work, but a huge mess came out of it. So thinking back to my childhood, I believe that, like, nature nurture are like half nature versus nurture, like, they're both half and half. For the sake of discussion, let's just say they are. And I know that there's the nature of things, and, like, the nurture of things brings out, like, possibly the worst expression of yourself. Um, Stick with me here. But, like, the nurture side of things, um, when I did good things, how was I conditioned? Like, were those good things reinforced, or were they blown off and dismissed? Or even worse, were they responded to with a negative situation like this that was totally uncalled for? And, like, I feel like I was conditioned into thinking that doing good things doesn't get me anything. Like, why should I even continue being a good person? Like, there's no point. I'm gonna be called bad anyways. Which brings me to, like, the second half of my realization, and that is that the whole smear campaign ordeal, that is when a narcissist or a toxic person causes, like, campaigns of negativity involving you. So they spread lies about you. They flip the situation and make it seem like they're the victim and you're the evil person, and, like, build this whole posse against you. So she's like, my mom is actively speaking with her aunts and her boyfriend and I don't know, my sisters. I wonder if the neighbor came over and told her, like, the gardening that I did, and my mom was like, oh no, like, she's a bad daughter for whatever reason. Like, I can only imagine. I can only imagine how the conversations are going, but I know that they're happening because I grew up listening to my mom talk serious shit about me and my siblings on the phone all the time. Like, all the time. Like, every week. And I know that, like, not all, like, that's not a sign of super toxicity. Like, there's a lot of people who their parents, like, blab their private information to, like, all their friends. But this wasn't just, like, blabbing private information. This was, like, making up stories and elaborating on bad stories and, like, just spreading really awful things about her own children to our family. And, like, it's really isolating. I remember going to family get-togethers, like holidays, and, like, being so uncomfortable, looking around, being like, what do these people even think of me? Like, I've heard some of the things that my mom say to them. I can only imagine what they think, because I thought that everyone would believe her because she's the adult and we're the kids. I basically know that she's talking really poorly about me right now. What I ended up coming back to, like I said, is this feeling of, like, all I need is my own approval, and, like, I know what I want and what I think is good, and if I do that, that's all that matters, because I'm the only person whose opinion I have to live with no matter what. So I know that I didn't go up there and, like, try to take advantage or be ungrateful and just, hog the place. I went up there. I was like, anyone else who wants to come, please come, but I'm gonna come because I freaking deserve to. And I gardened, and I tried to do a good thing, and I tried to disengage, and I just don't mean harm. I didn't do anything to hurt anybody. And, it doesn't matter with my mom. And, right. I'm pretty sure that's all I have to say today. Smear campaigns, do what's best for you, do what you want to do, try not to care what other people think. If you have someone talking mad shit about you all the time, consider leaving that relationship. There are people out there who brag about their friends in good ways, and their kids in good ways, and just imagine what that would be like. Oh my gosh. Okay. I think I'm gonna get going. I think that this video is much longer than I intended it to be, so if you're still here, I super appreciate it. So, so, so much. I hope to have more informational videos coming soon. I know I've just been telling a lot of my story, but really my lessons right now are coming from my story, and that's why I'm doing that. I also hope to have some interviews on here soon, so if you're interested in somehow getting together and talking about your story, contact me. My email is on my About page of the YouTube channel. And I also intend on doing some other fun stuff, so stay tuned, okay? Thank you again so much for your time, your precious time. I will talk to you very, very soon. Have an awesome day.